So this is part of the Get Found online Facebook for Business tutorial, and this part is called Understanding the Timeline. We have set up the page, we've looked at your admin or administrator permissions and settings for that page, and now it's time to better understand the timeline. In the year 2012, Facebook made some dramatic changes to fan pages, and we've addressed some of these in the previous tutorials. I will recap on some of them now. The cover photo right here, that is very new to fan pages. And then you have the profile pic. That hasn't really changed. The dimensions have slightly 125 by 125 or 150 by 150 pixels wide. And no longer really endorsing or expanding on what you see here, which was our banner. We haven't changed it out. So it's been cropped to the thumbnail you see now. First things first, that's what people see when they see your landing page for the first time. They come to that. The next thing we want to look at are the apps. Facebook will allow you actually 3, because you cannot change out your photos. Photos stay here, and you can't move these in your apps that you have for Facebook. That's interesting too, because this entire cover photo and photos here really emphasizes the shift that Facebook made to emphasize images and a visual fan page for businesses. The only things you can manipulate are 3 of the apps that show up on the fan page by coming over here and picking those apps that you might have. Notes comes with your fan page automatically. These other applications, that's part of a different tutorial on how to build apps for Facebook. What we did do to create sort of a visual theme is that we chose the favicon for the app, which is the picture thumbnail you see here, by breaking up a longer picture intentionally so we could create a continuous look for each of the apps. We want to show and display how many people have liked our fan page, so we made that a prominent app. And you can change these apps by clicking on this button right here to showcase which ones, and you can put up individual favicons in each of your apps. As we move down, we can see that there's a lot going on the timeline. To begin with, right here in the very middle, highlights, this shows how we want it displayed. We can see how our friends are sharing and liking our information. If we look at posts by page, then we can see the posts that we're making on our page, which is the way we have it set up. We normally see posts by page. And posts by others. This is seeing our fans and how they like our page. So the next thing we see are the friends. This is the number of friends that I actually have that have friended or fanned my page. The next thing we have is posts by others. I clicked that on the admin panel that I wanted recent posts by others to be seen and visible. To the side of the timeline, there it shows up, as does the featured likes or pages that we do like, and the activity. When we make a mention either in notes or create an event, we have one coming up at the time of this tutorial. We're working with the Women's Business Center for a one-on-one marketing workshop. And that's coming up, and that posts right here and is made visible. The rest of the timeline is the posts that we make to our page. What's important to understand is EdgeRank, and in the next tutorial we'll talk about EdgeRank as part of how to engage and attract visitors to your fan page. But for the time being, what's important is to know what you do with a post, what you can do with a post. In this case, if we pin to the top, which is what this flag on the corner means, we can unpin it from the top. This post will stay at the top of our fan page for 7 days. That means anybody coming to our fan page will see this is the first post, even though we may have posted it 7 days ago and more content has been posted since. That content will slip under this post, and this one will remain at the top for 7 days, and you could keep pinning something. So if you had a product release, a big event, or something that you're trying to promote on your fan page, you'd want to pin that to the top and make sure that that stayed up there so it was visible when anybody came to your page. So that's really great that Facebook saw that feature and made that part of the fan page, because content gets a lifespan when posted to the fan page on an average of 3.7 hours. That means the time or decay, that's one of the EdgeRank parts of the formula, is the word decay. That means the amount of time that a post actually lives and has the highest rate of engagement is really only 3.7 hours to about 3 hours. When you pin something to the top of your page, you're allowing people to see that continuously, not on their wall. That post has already been made, but if they come to your wall or your page, they'll see that. The next thing to talk about are highlights. This is when you can then see pinned to the top if you want to. If you did, it would change its dimensions and wouldn't be going across both rows, or columns, pardon me, of the fan page. But when you highlight, which is putting that star, you are making it so that it goes across both columns and it has the greatest real estate on your page, your wall. At this point, you can also see that it was shared 8 times. This indicates how many times it was shared. It was liked once. And when we talk about these kinds of engagement, sharing is quite honestly the most valued of the engagement points on a piece of content. But because somebody shared the content, its value jumps up and it can be seen as having a greater weight, and therefore when we talk about EdgeRank, we talk about how this might be seen and get posted as a top story and in that feed on the walls of all your fans. Hopefully a lot of your content gets shared and commented and liked. Let's go back to the top, and at the top we need to look at this box. Of course, when you want to write a status, something, and you can also, you'd want to put in a URL or web address for something else in this box. Then you have, of course, uploading a video or a photo, or use your webcam, and you can do that. This one is really interesting because we're a place of business. We can put out an offer. We can post an event, which we did, as I showed you down here before. Here's the event that we posted. We can also put in a milestone, and is marked as a milestone on the timeline. Interesting feature there, because it will set that in the timeline according to date, so that as you scroll and continue to scroll, you'd see it, and it would be identified and set apart from other pieces of content on the timeline. The question or polling feature within the status text box, it allows for greater engagement with your fans. That's if they see it, and that's if they feel compelled to answer it. So you might want to create an intriguing piece of content to get feedback from them. I know of cases where a plastic surgeon is using it for more gamification purposes, where a video is put up and you go to his website to see the video, and then he asks you a question about that video content, gives you a time limit, and you answer it, and the first person who gives the right answer gets 10% off of something. This is part of the engagement aspects of the fan page. This is for historical and to promote a particular milestone. This is to promote an event, and this is to provide an offer to drive traffic from your fan page to your business. Number one among any type of content that you place on your fan page or in a post would be the picture. Pictures are the most shared, most engaged content that people post. Post including a photo album or picture can generate 2 times more engagement than any other post type. And it's important to think that any kind of content that you're putting, if it's from your blog, put an image in it. Facebook will pull that image in and make that part of that blog article, which you can see here is what we have done. This is coming from our blog, and then that picture pops up, and voila, we have gotten more traction and had more engagement because of it. It was shared 8 times and liked by 4 people. 362 people saw the post. Earlier in this tutorial, I spoke briefly about the app section, and although it isn't part of this particular tutorial on how to build an app, you can add custom apps to your fan page. In this case, one of our custom apps, the website, is actually a built-in Flash site that shows our website internally, things about us and our products, and you can sort of investigate that site right there from our fan page, or it will launch into that. So here is our website right there, directly from, that is launched from our internal website, from our page. If we go in, that's a custom app, and it's another custom app that we built is this one for YouTube with all our branding, and it uploads and keeps on the ready the newest in a line of tutorials or newest videos that we post to our YouTube channel. As you look up and you scroll up, when you're an admin, this is the part you will see without even having to click on the edit page. We can see these notifications. We can see the recent people who liked our page. Even send them a message. We can see at a quick glance the insights. Just by clicking on See All, we can go to those, which we'll do in the next part of this tutorial. Or actually, we'll look at EdgeRank and how to attract visitors, engage them, and then look at the analytics and insights. But right here, just between those dates, 1,400 people were reached with our content. And what is this saying? 37,512 people reached. So quite a big jump. As a matter of fact, it's a huge spike. That may be due to an ad that we did release. In the next part of this tutorial, we're going to look and better understand EdgeRank, Facebook's own internal algorithm about what makes for important content when you post it on your page and how it's seen by your fans.